Hey, what's up guys, Shiny here, come back with another video for you guys. Now if you didn't notice, I had to release a bonus video over the weekend. That's because there's been so much going on that we had to talk about it today. It could not wait any longer. And if you haven't noticed or looked at the market, there's been a lot of issues going on. That's the first quick thing we're going to mention. I mean, I can't believe Steam is still having these continual issues. If you're quite new to the scene, this is something that used to happen a lot around that Broken Fang time, and it seems like Valve has just done nothing in the meantime to fix their servers. But that's besides the point. Today we're going to be breaking down cases and much more after a quick word from today's sponsor. Are you looking to grab some of those great looking CS2 skins but don't want to spend a ton of money on Steam tax selling off your current ones? Well, you don't have to with today's sponsor, SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a trading website that's currently offering you $5 free if you use code MasterShiny, or an additional 35% bonus on new deposits with the code MasterShiny. All you have to do is pick out the skins you no longer want, pick out the skins you do want, and send that trade. And if you don't have any skins, don't worry, they're giving away hundreds of dollars worth of skins all the time. Now, focusing in on cases, it seems like pandemonium has finally hit. We're seeing cases that really shouldn't be moving a ton. And that first up for me is the CS20 case. If you didn't know, I'm not the biggest fan of the CS20 case. That's because it's a very overinvested case. If we want to look at it and compare it to other cases, it should be sitting at the price point of something like the Gamma case, because it wasn't in the active drop pool for very long, and it did have a very unique item in the form of the classic knife, but it's not, and that's because no one really likes to open this case, or at least people for the longest time didn't really like to open it. It doesn't have anything crazy good about it, and overall it's just a little bit of a disappointment in my eyes. But the fact is, this case has been moving a pretty decent amount. It's up around 25% in the past 24 hours as of when I'm recording this, showing you just how crazy things are getting because people are just picking up any case that they can legitimately get their hands on. I've never had a case like the CS20 where so many people continually ask me if it's a good investment. The CS20 has been one of the most overinvested cases into because legitimately everyone is drawn to it as the quote-unquote perfect potential as an investment opportunity. Now feel free to do what you want. The biggest thing I look at when I see the CS20 case is when we talk about case price stagnating. I really think this is going to be one of the biggest culprits we'll see moving forward. However, when we're talking about the CS20 and the next case we're going to be talking about, the thing is, it's probably not really going to be going down in price much, and that's because of something we mentioned in a past video. Basically, the current situation of the market is people are so interested, or maybe even so desperate, I should say, to buy in, that case prices really don't go back down, because once we see the price go back down a little bit, we see a horde of investors come in and pick it up. And that's because obviously CS2 is still far away, and the amount of players that could be joining with that is a very high amount. But otherwise, we got to get to the big hitter we were talking about, and that's the clutch case. I mean, it's been absolutely insane, the run-up of the clutch case in the past 24 hours, but this one does have at least somewhat of a decent meaning behind it. But back to that clutch case, this one makes sense because the clutch case was really not too affected when we want to compare it to other cases that have similar levels of desirability, talking about those chromas, those gammas, those spectrum cases. When that update hit, the clutch case really didn't do too much, and now if we want to look at it, it's quite obvious that the clutch case has finally picked up. That's because the clutch case is unboxed at the rate of an active duty case, yet there's really not too many being added because it's in the rare drop pool. This one is the first run up that I would say makes sense, at least talking about in terms of the past day or two, because this one does make sense. This is a case that's very desirable, and I can't necessarily speak on the price point that it holds because we're just going to have to wait and see if this 100% increase in the past couple days is really going to stick or not, but it's definitely one I can understand at least why it's increasing in price so rapidly. And the other thing to go along with that is the only other case you can get the gloves in are the Revolution case, which is obviously still holding a very inflated price point, and potentially maybe the new level of price point we're going to see for active duty cases moving forward. Now the other thing I want to talk about is what's been going on with the Paris Major. Now the Paris Major obviously has not started, but the Paris RMRs are on, and they have some pretty major implications and a lot of easy price increases that are potentially quite profitable for you depending on your circumstance and your investing position. First thing I want to talk about are the teams that were unfortunately not able to make it. First one is OO Nation. This one I only pointed out because it did have a relatively expensive Rio sticker, and that's the only major they made. I don't think it's going to have a huge implication application, but it is one of the more expensive Rio Hollows. It's just one of the things I want to point out. The other bigger ones I do want to point out, first of which is Mouse. Now at the time I'm recording this, we don't know if Mouse has made it against FaZe or not, but the thing is, even if they don't, they still have that second chance bracket. Obviously, it's a very slim chance for them to make it there as well, but it is possible. So the fact that we're seeing the price run up of this sticker is kind of funny in my opinion. It shows just how desperate people are to go ahead and create FOMO in this circumstance. This is why in this area, although it's very profitable, you have to be very careful because everyone is looking to shark you in terms of people trying to give you investment advice. If you ever wonder why I don't specifically give investment advice, it's because almost guaranteed whoever's trying to give you that investment advice is probably trying to lead you into their investments. Now you can always find my investments down below, but that doesn't really follow the standard of CSGO investing. Most of the time everyone has their investments hidden and you're just kind of taking them for their word that they're not trying to steal your money basically behind your back. But then at this point, the last team that unfortunately did not make it is Tyloo. Now this one has the biggest potential impact because Tyloo is one that was already quite expensive, and that's because a lot of people have really been pumping up this sticker. I've gotten Twitter DMs of people telling me that the Tyloo sticker is going to the moon or going to do whatever. It's a very popular sticker for people to try and manipulate and FOMO into. Now I'm not necessarily saying yes or no on the potential impact or investment potential it could have because we really don't know, and next year is the year of the dragon, which is a lot of people's reasoning behind it, but it's something I think you need to be very careful about. This is not something I would personally invest into at this time. One, because it's already quite expensive, and two, because it's an area where I don't really know what's going on. How many of them are being picked up as an investment? We really don't know. It's an area of a high amount of uncertainty. Now, since we are on the topic, there's a couple other things that aren't too related to stickers, but we still need to go over. First of which is this very interesting cheating development that's currently ongoing during the RMRs. This is a problem I've always thought of with the online games, and I guess it's just front and center considering this is the last CSGO major here. We're going to keep you updated. At this point, really don't know too much. The other thing of which is the Outsiders team that won Rio obviously has not qualified for the major in Paris. I don't think this is too much of a surprise for anyone. This is probably the weakest major winning team we've ever seen, and I can't say I'm honestly too shocked that they didn't qualify to the Paris major, although it doesn't really seem to be affecting their stickers too much, at least at this point, probably because there was a ton of their stickers and they're just not the most popular team to begin with. Otherwise, last thing I got for the Paris major is the team Into the Breach, which I think is one of the first actual UK teams has made it in. They've got a decent looking logo, so that could be a bit interesting to see what the potential crafts are with that, but that's all I got for that Paris major. Overall, videos like this are not my most favorite to make. I don't really like telling you what's been going on in the market because it's just kind of bland and straight up, but you need to know what's been going on, especially in a circumstance like this. We've had a lot of quick movers. You need to stay informed so you don't get taken advantage of, because there are a lot of people looking to take advantage of you. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I do hope you have a great rest of your day.